Hi, welcome back to my channel, Organized with Joy, and welcome if you are new here, and welcome to another episode of Thoughtful Thursday. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about making sure that you are prioritizing rest in your life. So for me, taking time to rest and just step back from work is very, very difficult. I am a type A personality. I am very driven. I like to get things done. I'm goal-oriented. And so it makes it really difficult for me to sit still because when I'm in those moments of quietness and sitting still, I'm thinking of all the things I need to be doing, including if I wake up at 3 a.m. I started keeping a piece of paper beside my bed to take notes of everything that I'm thinking of or thinking that I need to get done so that I can fall back asleep. But I did want to share with you how I try to prioritize rest into my life and into my schedule, because I think it's so important. If we don't prioritize rest and we push ourselves, then ultimately we are going to get burnt out. So about 3 months ago, I decided to implement having a day of rest built into my weekly schedule. And at first it was really hard because I had to get all of my work done in those 6 days leading up to that last day of rest. And I was struggling to figure out that balance, but finally I figured out that balance and that rhythm, and I was able to spend each Sunday the entire day just resting. And for me, at first that included no social media, like not getting on social media at all, not watching Hulu, Netflix, or anything like that. I really just wanted to spend time in nature and spend time reading. And slowly those things started creeping back in. And I would say, well, maybe while I'm eating lunch, I'll just watch a quick show on Netflix, and things just crept back in until the point a couple weeks ago, I just had a really busy couple of weeks. I had a lot of projects on my shoulders that were just very time consuming, and I just wanted to complete. I just wanted to finish. And if you watch my channel and saw my bathroom makeover, that was one of the projects that I was working on that was just taking a really, really long time. And so last Sunday, which today is Monday, so it was about a week ago, I decided, you know what, I have to work on Sunday. I have got to finish this bathroom, edit the video, and upload the video. So I worked through the day, all day Sunday, and I was so exhausted. And then, if any of you know what happened here in Austin, Texas, we had a massive snowstorm. And actually, on Monday morning, we woke up to having no water because we think that our pipes might have froze. And so it halted my entire routine. It was really difficult to get any of my chores done without water. I usually did laundry on Mondays, and I couldn't do that at all. And so that chore was completely halted. And then in addition to that, I chose not to work out because I didn't want to be disgusting and sweaty and not be able to take a shower. So that got halted, and we actually ended up going without water for an entire week. And so I did minimal chores, whatever I could. And throughout the week, we also had rolling blackouts, so we didn't always have our power, so I couldn't even be running the vacuum and things like that. But I did minimal chores, whatever I could, to just keep our house kind of in order. But a lot of the things that I ordinarily did, I couldn't do. So with all that happening, it was almost this wake-up call to me saying, Joy, you need to take rest. And if you're not gonna take it, you're gonna have to take it, because I was forced to take a week of rest. And I was trying to remember the last time I took an entire week off of not working out. And I'm pretty sure the last time that happened was 3 years ago when I had to have my appendix removed, and I had to go through the process of recovery. And so it took me a few weeks before I could get back into a regular workout routine. So that's kind of a long time to go without taking a rest from working out. So although I don't necessarily feel like last week was super restful because it was very stressful not having water and power, and just basic ordinary things became very difficult. Even flushing our toilet, we'd have to walk across a sheet of ice out to our pool with a bucket and get a bucket of water and carry it in to flush our toilet. So everything became very arduous. So I wouldn't say last week was necessarily a week of rest for me, but it definitely was a wake-up call to remind me how important rest is. So I did want to share with you just a few things that I do to incorporate rest into my daily schedule and my weekly schedule. And like I mentioned, I did start taking a day of rest a few months ago on Sundays, and I really want to get back to that full force. I want to get back to the place where I'm not looking at social media or YouTube or anything on that day, and spend more time in nature and reading and doing things that I just put off throughout the week. So I would like to get back to that. But the other thing I do, which I implemented several years ago, the very first time I ever ran a long distance race, I read a book where he was talking about how sometimes runners overtrain and how they don't give their body enough rest to recover from their training sessions. And he suggested a workout schedule where you give yourself 2 days of rest per week. And even though I'm not training for any sort of race right now, I have just continued that schedule of having 2 days throughout my week where I don't do a workout and I just give my body time to recover and rest. The other thing that I have done for a very long time, I think it started when my daughter went to kindergarten. When she would come home from school, I always took maybe 30 minutes to an hour to just take a break in the day. And that started with her when she came home from school. I wanted to hear about her day. I was, giving her a snack and just sitting down with her and spending time with her since I hadn't seen her all day. But that habit just stuck with me, and even today I will take a 30-minute to an hour break sometime in late afternoon, usually sometime between 2 and 3 p.m., where I sit down with a cup of coffee and I just take a break from life. And it really is helpful to me to do that because I know that that's coming up, so it helps me to be really efficient and work hard throughout the day, knowing that I'm gonna get that break. One more thing that I wanted to talk about related to rest is something that might not resonate with everyone, but I really wanted to talk about it as it's something that I have been thinking about personally. So I am doing a Bible study where I am reading through the Bible in 1 year chronologically, and there's actually a podcast that goes along with it. It's called The Bible Recap. And currently we are reading Leviticus. Today was actually the last day of reading Leviticus, and you might roll your eyes and be like, Leviticus, that seems so boring. It's actually quite an interesting book. I have actually done a deep study on it, an inductive Bible study on it, and it truly is quite fascinating. But one of the things that has stuck out to me while reading Leviticus is how many times God commanded his people to rest. So he commanded a Sabbath once a week, and that included no work. And you did have to prepare in advance to be able to get all your work done. But in addition to that, today and yesterday in the reading, I learned about the Sabbath year that happens every 7 years, where God's people were called to allow their land to rest for an entire year. The year of Jubilee, which happened after 7 cycles of the sabbatical year, which that would be 49 years. After 49 years, they were also called to allow their land to rest. And so they weren't working in that year. And the interesting thing is the way it lines up is you would have your 7th year sabbatical rest, and then right after that would be the year of Jubilee. So you would actually have to go 2 years letting your land rest. And one of the things that the gal who puts out the podcast mentioned is the connection of faith with rest, and how God had called them to rest. He called them to rest once a week. He called them to rest their land every 7 years, and then again to rest their land in the year of Jubilee. It really required them to have a lot of faith. God promised that He was going to take care of them during those years where their land was resting. And so I just think about myself and how I've often felt kind of convicted to rest, and how God says throughout His word to spend time resting. And so I have to just trust that that is something that is really important, and to figure out ways to organize my schedule in such a way that I can prioritize rest. Well, as always, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. I would love to hear, are you the type of person that it's really hard for you to take breaks? If so, is there anything that you do to fight against that? Do you schedule in time to rest? What does that look like for you? I would love to hear from you down in the comments. Well, thank you for watching this video today. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope it encouraged you in some way today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.